Big changes continue to be revealed for the X-Men and mutants in general in the Sins of Sinister series, but where does the Dominion issue leave us? Let's find out. What's up, my comic comrades? Sins of Sinister Dominion is the conclusion to the overall event that we've been covering for the past few weeks. And as we break down how the story wraps up, we are also going to include important pieces from the final Storm in the Brotherhood, Immoral X-Men, and Nightcrawler tie-in titles, at least the most relevant parts. But before we see how this epic event comes to a close, have you ever checked out Pristine Auction? We introduced them to the Variant Nation with 2 amazing joint giveaways last year. But for those of you who aren't familiar with these beautiful people who also happen to be today's sponsor, PristineAuction.com is one of the most trusted memorabilia auction sites around. And check this out, auctions on PristineAuction.com start at just $1, and each day there are thousands of signed items available, which gives you a great chance to win signed authentic signatures at insanely affordable prices. They're basically a one-stop shop for pop culture memorabilia, collectibles, and so much more. And right now they just launched their brand new pop culture auction. For the next week, you can find great deals on signed memorabilia and collectibles from your favorite franchises and genres, like Marvel, Star Wars, Game of Thrones, Back to the Future, comics, horror, Harry Potter, and more. This brand new pop culture auction runs Friday to Friday every week. They have no reserves with $20 starting bids. Again, they have thousands of items ending daily, and each item comes with a certificate of authenticity from the industry's leading authenticators. I'm talking PSA, Beckett, and Fanatics to name a few. You can check out this week's pop culture auction at PristineAuction.com by using our link in the description. And when you use the registration code POP, you'll receive $10 off your first order upon signing up. Just click the link in the description and bring home some dope collectibles today. Alright, so let's jump into the main event. At the very beginning of Sins of Sinister Dominion, we see a Ghost Rider Galactus dying as he's been shot right through the head. You may be asking, when the hell did we get a Spirit of Vengeance Galactus, and who or what killed it by shooting him through the head? Well, this all went down in Nightcrawler's issue 3, where in the middle of that issue, we see that the same Juggernaut that was shot from a railgun that killed Thanos at the very beginning of the Sins of Sinister event has still been traveling through the cosmos to get to the World Farm where the Spirit of Vengeance of Galactus was in the way. So he went right through his head, killing him. Anyway, after this, we then see the main Sinister who started all this madness talking to Moira. That's right, Moira is back in the picture, and the two of them are trying to get into his lab. See, if you weren't aware, the only reason why the Sins of Sinister timeline is even possible is because Sinister's manipulation of Moira, using her as a saving point to give him an infinite number of tries to manipulate the universe. Think of it like a checkpoint in a video game. You can keep dying and failing, but you start over at your save point, not the very beginning. In any case, Bullet Juggernaut not only goes through Ghost Rider Galactus' head, he also opens the vault with Moira saying, "That did it. We've got an entrance. I'm going in." Sinister says, "What? No, Moira, not yet. Wait for me. I have plans to upload." She responds, "Someone has to reset the universe now. Too big a risk to wait." Sinister says, "Don't you dare," as he gets impaled from behind with the spear and chain, all Mortal Kombat Scorpion style, as we see it's Ironfire who's not dead. You see, at the end of Storm in the Brotherhood issue 3, Sinister shot Ironfire point blank in the back of the head. So needless to say, Sinister is very confused that he's alive, saying, "I shot you. How?" Ironfire replies, "I can turn my blood to metal, and before a battle like this, I made sure I gave my bones a little coating. My blood is useful. Your blood, all it's doing is keeping you alive." As he pulls a Scorpion get over here move yet again, pulling him closer to him with a metal chain and spear. Meanwhile, Moira walks past the vault doors. At this point, we're taken to Beast, who's the new leader of the Red Diamond Empire after Emma Frost was turned to dust in Storm in the Brotherhood issue 3. At this point in the story, Mr. Sinister is responsible for every character in the universe having a modified X gene made by himself, making them semi-clones of himself. The problem is they all want to be rulers, so they split up into different factions and are fighting to be the ruler of the Sins of Sinister universe, with the main Sinister just wanting to start everything over. Beast then tries to recruit Charles Xavier in his Red Diamond Empire faction, but Xavier is too powerful and smart for Hank, and he immediately uses his abilities to astral project himself through Hank's body and take control of the Red Diamond Empire for himself. He even makes Ego the Living Planet his as well. Xavier, obviously like everyone else, has his own goals for the universe and starts attacking Ironfire and the main Sinister, with Ironfire saying, "Xavier, here, with our defenses gone, with our psychics dead, with everyone dead, we're in trouble." Sinister says, "Oh, I have my own defenses. You're in trouble." Ironfire replies by cutting his forehead open, causing himself to bleed, telling Sinister, "Do you not pay attention? My blood turns to metal, any metal, and as I am the leader of the Brotherhood, I should look the part," as he forms Magneto's helmet out of his own blood over his head, protecting himself from Xavier's telepathy. Sinister then says, "Your fine Magneto tribute hat is one thing, but you cannot fight Xavier as you are. You need more power, and as your power is blood, you need more blood, and blood is 90% water. A dose of Bobby Drake will give you all the chilled water you need," as he holds a sample of Bobby Drake in a syringe, basically saying, "Just let me go and it's yours." Ultimately, Sinister injects it into Ironfire, at which point he turns into frozen blood, essentially with the power of Iceman going right through Xavier's ego. Meanwhile, we see Sinister finally make it into his lab, where he sees Moira saying, "My love, you beautiful love, I lost my Moira." Sinister says, "Get away from my Moiras," and she replies, "You turned me into a machine." He says, "Look at yourself, you turned yourself into a machine," as she's essentially half robot now. Sinister then asks, "What happened here? Why is Mother Righteous bleeding all over my nice clean floor?" Moira responds, "She broke in with a scheme, but her stooges turned on her. She had a plan, and it all went wrong," which we saw happen at the end of Nightcrawler's issue 3. Essentially, the X-23 Nightcrawler hybrid stabbed Mother Righteous from behind, stopping her, and then Moira shows up, killing Mother Righteous's right-hand man, a depowered Banshee. Sinister then says, "Let me upload my," and before he could finish, she says, "Hell no," while shooting at him. He says, "I need to upload my files, woman. Just let me do it, and then we can reset." She says, "No, you're not learning from this. You turned me into a glorified hard drive." He replies, "To be glorified, by definition, is a glorious thing. If I don't send anything back, it'll just happen again. A 1,000-year rerun. You know I'm the least bad option. Take it." She then says, "You're going to pay for this," and reluctantly lets him upload his files to reset everything. While he's doing it, he thinks, "Maybe I could become a god." She replies, "A god? Please, no, don't." He tells her, "Well, not a god. That's the sort of nonsense the hard-headed one would say. A scientific god, a better god, who tidied up around the place. When they tore the control away from me, they meddled with my top-level work, but the infrastructure remains. My psychic infernal failsafe, controls of which are here. It will kill every single person in the universe with my modified X gene and use them as fuel. Come on, Moira, don't look horrified. We're going to wipe this dimension away. One final atrocity before the last call." Sinister then hits the button while saying, "Mutants are special. I always knew that. The X genes make us so." That's what everyone agreed. That's the heart of Krakoa. The X gene connects us all. Xavier thought it was like a chain of held hands skipping through the meadows. Apocalypse thought it was like a bundle of sticks. I realize it is more like a fuse of an old cartoon bomb. So you can light it. A galaxy of mutants burns so hot, it sears a hole in all that is. It would take a miracle for any to be spared. A scream with so many voices that it reaches beyond the curtains of our stage. The knowledge of all those minds consumed, digested, and injected into my hungry psyche. I have built a staircase straight out of reality, and every step is a corpse. I am everything now. I always knew the world was too small for me. Now it is finally true. I escape everything, including the need to make jokes. You are the joke. I am becoming significantly more perfect than a god." So essentially, Sinister killed every mutant in this new universe he's responsible for, using it as fuel to make him a god. As he says, "I am becoming a Dominion." He continues to say, "I soar on wings of untold trillions of bony feathers. I leave time behind, becoming all times." But he realizes he hasn't become Dominion. In fact, Dominion is already there. As a voice says to him, "I am the being that is harvesting the power you stole, as whatever is yours is mine now. I am a being of infinite knowledge and perspective. I could tell you everything. Instead, I share a single fact. Who am I? Not you." Seemingly popping Sinister like a grape, returning him back to his lab. Sinister then tells Moira, "I am too late. A sinister Dominion is already outside time and space. It happened in another timeline earlier. I am too late. It's not me." Not caring about his own life anymore, Ironfire comes in saying, "You killed a galaxy." Mr. Sinister then replies, "I did, for nothing," as Ironfire slices off his head. We are then brought back to present or modern day Sinister just before he kicks this whole Sinister timeline off. Sinister then looks at the files his future self had uploaded, and he's pretty shook at how the last 1,000 years went. The problem is the voice on the files are not Sinister's. Nope, in fact, it's Moira's. She basically says, "You learned a lot of things over those 1,000 years, but now that we're in another timeline, here's your lesson, and the only thing you need to know. This is my story. Your story is over," as his lab blows up, with one of his chambers releasing Rasputin 4, with all the memories of Rasputin from Immortal X-Men issue 3, who he left stranded in space to die. She remembers everything that happened in that reality, so she takes Sinister down quickly. In the end, Rasputin 4 delivers Sinister to the Quiet Council, who have recently been resurrected. At this point, they sentence Sinister to prison within the tree, but Sinister is all like, wait, there is a Dominion outside of space-time already. He's a stain on existence. It is already there. They've already won. Oh god, it's too late. But of course, they don't believe him and imprison him anyway as he screams. After this, Rasputin introduces, as she says, the real savior, which is Mother Righteous. After getting acquainted with several members of the Quiet Council like Emma Frost, Xavier, Kitty Pryde, and Exodus, they say that until we can be sure our genes are clear of Sinister's insinuations, we're unsafe. We need to be held safely, no matter how unpleasant it is. This is our most secure prison, as they imprison themselves in the tree, along with Sinister, until they can make sure they are no longer tainted by Sinister. The book ends with the Quiet Council not nearly being as strong as they once were, losing several members, and with Storm seemingly being left in charge, with Mother Righteous being able to talk in her ear. Overall, this was a really cool event with a number of ramifications for the future of the X-Men. I will say it was a bit confusing at times, but that seems to happen quite a bit with recent X-Men stories. Regardless, we love them. Generally, I'm very curious to see what happens next, as this is clearly leading to another mystery, which is going to happen in Fall of X, with Sinister saying that someone had achieved dominion. Also, when will the members of the Quiet Council be cleared of Sinister's insinuations? I don't know, but it's kind of crazy that now it seems like Storm, Mother Righteous, and Rasputin are in command. Anyway, what do you guys think of the story? Did you dig it? Are you excited to see where the X-Men go from here? Let us know in the comments. Otherwise, we'll see you next time when we talk about all things comics.